Now guys, the final tip that I have that I think is literally the most important one out of anything I've said today. So please, if there's one thing that you could take away, it's this one.
Hey there, fam. So good to have you guys back again. My favorite people. Welcome to the channel for traders by traders. And today we've got another cracker of a video. Ali Trades is doing amazing things, and he's one of our traders that we profile today. Now, as I said, do have I do favor traders who, number one, trade live, number two, have have a track record with with profit payouts. So I believe that Ali Trades is the one. Now, it takes me a couple of a good couple of hours to make these videos. So if you don't mind, I'd really like a like, subscribe, or comment to let me know if I'm on the money or not so much. I think you guys are really gonna enjoy this video. At the moment, I think it's one of the top videos with with the most value. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. And guys, if you're a serious trader, and you consider yourself someone who wants to be profitable, at a minimum be able to go through a video with such value. So hope you guys enjoy, and much love. Cheers.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one.
So my journey into trading was, I was 17, I was broke. All I had were some funds I saved up on the side from video editing. I used to edit videos, and essentially I was just looking for new ways to make money. So I used to run track. I was like a very big athlete. And back then, one day I was at like this private track training, and somebody pulls up like in a fresh Benz, a young guy who's 21 years old, I believe. And he tells me, oh, I do trading. Let me get you signed up. And so I'm hooked. I'm like, yo, okay, this sounds fire. And I already had another editor friend who had introduced me to trading. He had told me he was making like $4,000 a month. You know, at that time, I'm thinking, oh my God, I can open thousands of FIFA packs with this money. Because that's all I was doing. I was hooked on FIFA and I was playing sports. And so I was sold. The guy gives me a call later that night. He's like, hey, you know what? Let me get you signed up with my mentor. We trade together every day. We all make money. It's like, it's $250 a month. You refer two people, now you don't need to pay. Now anyone else who's referred, you're making money on it. And I was like, wait a second. I couldn't even afford it. So I couldn't even sign up for that. And I ended up buying like some $10 course online. So the course stated when you can flip a demo from 3K to 5K, you should go live. So day one, I was just on my minute one. I had just done the first sector, which was like support and resistance. And I learned it and I was just hitting buy, sell. Everything is going my way. So I wake up my brother, it's like 1 a.m. and I'm like, bro, I need to open an account. I wasn't 18 yet. So I do it under his name. We get the account open. He helps me. You know, he's like, I don't know what you're doing, but I trust you that you're not going to put my identity at risk. I was like, thank you, bro. So I get that open. And honestly, shout out to my brother Kareem, because he did open my first trading account for me. So we get that open. I have $3,000. I put them all in the account. I remember the first day I trade, I'm floating $2,000. Like, this is going well.
In profit.
Yes, in profit. So my account equity is floating now $5,000, right? And I go to the mall. I'm with one of my friends, and I buy some fresh gray Balenciagas. I still have them with me. And I go home, whatever. I'm like through the roof, right? The trade's floating. I'm doing great. And I go to shower. I didn't even shower, man. I literally just ended up just using the bathroom real quick, wash my hands, come back, and my screen is red. And I was so many lots deep. I think maybe in profit, I was only up 8 pips at the time. Like, I wasn't even a good trade. All I did was guess my lot sizes when I was hitting buy. I was like, hey, you know what, 3.6, this is cool. And I started hitting until I couldn't open anymore. And then out of nowhere, you know, the numbers on the top right start going red. I'm getting margin called. I don't even know what it is. And all my trades end up closing out. I think I went from 3K that day to like 927. And then the next 2 days, like I purchased some random signals and ended up blowing the rest of the account. No, at that point, I was humbled. I was trying to learn. There was like this like random group I joined, and I was like studying with them. And then I ended up buying a course. I bought Daniel Savage's course, if you know who that is.
Yeah, Daniel, yeah.
Yeah, so I bought that course. Honestly, that course gave me my first ever profitable month. I'll say that. It was October, I believe, 2021. I was 17-8. I only traded GJ. So I had that. And my boy Lucas, who I went to high school with, actually was trading. So he taught me a little bit as well. And, I was doing like the whole retail, the fibs, the pullbacks. It worked for a month. And then afterwards, it just didn't for me. And boom, everything down the drain again. I'm broke again. At that point, I started learning about smart money and order blocks and, just that style of trading. And that started to really help me. So at this point, about 18 years old, I'm in my first semester of college and I'm trying to trade and I'm trying to run track at college. And I'm going to school, I'm at track practice and I'm just constantly checking my phone like, oh, how's my gold trade doing? Anyways, I ended up encountering a really bad hamstring injury, which was recurring for me. And so I decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to give myself one semester off and I'm going to see where this goes. And during that time where I was dropping out of school, I ended up getting funded. So I get funded, I drop out of school, and it gets to that January, right? So now we're talking January 2022. And I have $67 in my bank. And there's a course I was trying to get that cost $265. So I called my mom. My mom at the time was in Egypt. And I said, hey, Mom, you know what? I know you don't like this trading stuff. There's one last course I want to buy. I'm going to get to work. If this doesn't work, I promise you I'm going back to school and I'm going to go get my degree and everything. She goes, okay. She sends me $200. I purchase that course. I do a little bit of it and it starts going well. And then from there, I start journaling everything, documenting every single trade. I was sitting on the charts for hours a day. I mean, just trying to figure out why did price reach from point A to point B? I mean, it got to the point where I remember this so well. Like I heard my mom on the phone with my uncle saying like, yeah, social media and the internet, it's got all my kids crazy. Like they all think they're going to become millionaires online, blah, 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 this and that. And she would tell her friends like, I think my son is depressed. He's literally in his room all day long. And she just, I mean, I knew I was misunderstood, but I knew it was for a reason. I knew that the success had to come. So I was just grinding, man. I mean, there were times the most I've ever done, and it was consistently, would be like 3 days in a row where I wouldn't sleep, or like sometimes I'd be like, yo, hold on, I haven't ate in how long? And I'd be like, oh my God, it's been like 2 days. And then at that point, your hunger starts to catch up and you realize how hungry you are. But that's how committed I was, bro. Like nothing was going to stop me from reaching that next level. No, yeah. So I on that funded account, I ended up getting my first payout. It was that March of 2022, right before my sister's wedding. So I ended up getting my first payout of $4,600. And I remember I was ecstatic and I finally did something that I had been dreaming of, which was I took my family out to dinner for the first time. And it was, bro, the greatest feeling ever. And I was like, okay, what I'm feeling today, we have to find a way to do this on larger scales and keep bringing this type of feeling to myself. In those moments, I feel like I'm doing what I'm meant to do.
I think I've been blessed with a type of mindset where it's like everything I've ever wanted in life, I've been able to achieve it. Not because it was handed to me, but because I've always found a way. Like I don't know how to take no for an answer. So when I hear, oh, you can't do this, you can't have this, you're not good enough for this, I'm like, no, there's another way. And it's honestly a blessing and a curse sometimes, because sometimes I'm like killing myself working towards something simply because I don't understand how to take no for an answer. But I also wouldn't want to live life any other way, because at the end of the day, it's the type of thing that's setting me up to get to a point where I can take care of myself and my family. And that's obviously the dream, is end goal. I want to put everybody in my family, everybody in my friends, everyone around me, just my circle, on top.
Yeah.
It's like, you ever heard of, what's that phrase? Like 90 or 100% of gamblers quit right before they win.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, 3 feet from gold, bro.
Exactly.
Right there. Yeah.
So obviously find it funny because they say gamblers, but to me, it's like, I'm not going to quit then. Even if I had to step away today and come back tomorrow, I didn't quit.
Yeah.
So I've always just, I like to say, against all odds, you know? It's been very interesting because I've gone through like different phases of it. Obviously, I think all the failures have really set me up to reach a point where I'm able to handle things a lot better in life. Like growing up, I was very impatient. I was always very frustrated. I was always very upset. But going through like this niche, this workspace, it requires me to be more patient and be more understanding, and it gives me a long-term outlook on life. So whenever I lose whatever. It doesn't matter if I lost 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 on a trade. Like I'm like, that's going in the long-term investment bank. It's going to come back 10 times more. And so it's always been trying to approach things with that with like that mindset, and also understanding that I don't even consider it a loss. Like at the end of the day, as long as I keep going, I didn't lose in the end. As long as I come out on top.
Yeah.
You know?
Is that you have to think that you're special. No, I don't mean you go walk around and you're thinking, hey, I make more money than you, or hey, I am better than you, telling people that you are just straight up better than them and that they are not valuable people. What this means is that your thoughts inside of yourself are that you believe you are special and that you can create something huge or accomplish this high level of success truly just because you are a special person. Now, the worst thing is when somebody thinks they're special, they do all of the talking and then they have no actions to back themselves up. I've seen so many people in this industry want to say all these things about themselves, but then really put in no efforts to reach that level. It's like the first year that I went to the FX Summit, which is the biggest Forex trading conference in the world. I won the trading contest that they had, and I remember speaking to the host and saying, hey, one day I'm gonna be on this stage. And it's funny because I was just with him last night and he tells me, he's like, you know how many people at that summit told me one day I'm gonna be on that stage? But the truth is, I actually got to work because I believed that I was a special person. So now I coupled it with special amounts of effort, which is what you have to do. I made sure that every single day I was chasing something bigger and better and always looking to become the best version of myself because I knew that something out there was allowing me to do better. Now this even ties back to some of these insane account flips that I've done. I've flipped 3K to 100K on so many occasions to the point where I know if I went broke tomorrow, all I would need to do is make that first $3,000, and from there I can replicate the same thing that I've done over and over again to make my way back into the same position that I'm in today. Now I know it's easy for me to say, oh, as a trader, we need to be patient. But the reality is, a lot of us don't understand what patience really is. When we're trading, we have to think of ourselves as a sniper. A sniper never looks around for his targets. He never just tries to find something to shoot immediately. A sniper is always in position, focused on a certain area, so when his target is in his crosshair, he's ready to pull the trigger and hit his shot. Now this is how we have to approach it in our day-to-day trading. We can't be stepping on the charts thinking, oh, I have to make $10,000 today, or I have to win a trade, so I'm gonna force myself to take a setup. This is completely anti-successful trading. We have to understand that the opportunities are not presented every single day, and that we're only looking to get in when the opportunity is there. There's this quote that I really like by Abraham Lincoln where he says, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I'll spend the first 4 sharpening my axe. We can relate this back to trading because if you think about it, if you are trading one full trading session, it doesn't mean that you need to take 17 trades during that session. All you want to do is stay patient, wait on your toes, find that right setup and execute when it is there. And of course, if the setup isn't there, there is nothing that we can do about it. We cannot force the charts to create what we want it to create, no matter how long we look at it. Now, I know it's not that easy for us to just stay there, especially because sometimes when you're being patient, you're gonna avoid a trade that ended up winning. But what I want you guys to understand is this is totally fine. Because at the end of the day, you want to be the guy who avoids one winner and also avoids 6 losses at the same time versus the guy who takes that one winner and then is going to end up taking 6 other losses because they really just couldn't stay patient. Now, I've been there. I've been that guy who was super antsy, who wanted to take 30 trades a session, but now I've become this trader who trades once or twice a month, and I make more money than I have ever made on the charts. Now, you can't expect to be an overnight success in this industry. Just like Rome, it is going to take a long time. You want to build your empire, and your empire requires you to build it brick by brick, and that is going to take time. So you have to stay patient throughout that journey and trust that process.
Okay, the first thing is like, bro, I'd spend up to 500. If I don't have any knowledge on trading, I'd spend up to 500. I spend up to 600 almost. Actually, 60% of my money to learn it.
Yep.
Because the skill set is the most important part. And I'd make sure like who I'm learning from is somebody who's tracked, who has stood behind themselves, who like has stuff to back them, you know, has proof, like whatever it is. If it's prop firm payouts, if it's credibility on what's that one website, my FX books, so stuff like that. And then also just taking it small. Like it doesn't mean I'm gonna go put the other 400 in account, but maybe I'm gonna put another $100 or even 50 or 20, whatever, into small accounts until I gain the skill set.
Yeah.
Because as I said earlier, exposure is everything. Exposure in the markets is everything. It's the only way you're going to be able to cross the bridge from demo to live, because it is a bridge. Demo, you can perfect your skills and everything, but live has a whole different set of emotions, and you only can conquer those emotions if you approach it the right way. So yeah, 60% into investing in the education, and then the next 40% has to be divided into some sort of like exposure in the markets, because like you can go on demo as much as you want and everything, but the only way you're going to actually approach the emotions of the market and be able to conquer them is by going into live markets. So whether it's a $20 account, $50 account, or, you know, honestly, if I had $400 left, I wouldn't go higher than 50, but let's just even say $100 account, or even just buying like a really cheap prop firm account, you have to find those emotions and conquer that whole different realm. Because after you conquer the emotions, like price action is one thing. People can learn price action, honestly, I think really easily, but it's the emotions where everybody struggles with. Like that's why you're going to force bad trades. That's why you're going to convince yourself to see bad setups. Because at the end of the day, like, bro, we're looking at a bunch of candlesticks. Nothing says this is 100% buy or this is 100% sell. Yeah, no, I think one very big thing as well is just not switching strategies every day.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's one of the most important things. Like find your strategy, stick to it. If it doesn't work, find out the pieces that don't work and move from there. Like, so whether it is you have to journal or whatever it is you have to do to keep yourself in check and accountable. So like for me, the reason why Pip and Dip was even created was because I wanted to journal my trades and I just didn't want to write them down anymore. So what I did was every trade I took, I had a Telegram chat that was just me. So every trade I took was just a signal that I would send out for myself. And then I started hitting TP and I was like, yo, like what the I'm calculating it. I'm like, all right. And then like each loss I would like break down the chart for myself, and I was like, yo, like this is popping, you know, like what the. So then I opened it up to a couple friends and they were, you know, they really liked it, you know, and they made some money, and I was like, yo, what the. So then I had a free chat open for everyone, and now I started to build this community, and it was really dope. And then I remember one of my boys, Anthony, he was from Pip Kings as well. He told me, he's like, hey, can you make a YouTube breakdown on this trade? And I was like, really? Like, you want to see that? He's like, yeah, bro. Like, yeah. So I made a breakdown on it. And then that's how I started like getting into like educational content and then eventually teaching. And, you know, it's so funny to see how things spiraled, because it's all the stuff that I dreamed about. So like I said, bro, I wake up every single day living my dream. And that's all I want anybody else to be able to say and do, is like, wake up to live your dream. Finding a trading style that resonates with the person you are. So like, you know, I used to have people like try to enforce a trading style on me, and it was like, it just wasn't who I was. So like for me, I was like a very quick person. Like everything I wanted quick, which, you know, sometimes like is bad, but at the end of the day, like, okay, so what does that kind of stand out more with? It was like indices and scalping. So like that's how I started off. And then like as I grew up and evolved and whatever, like I found slower methods and stuff that I liked. And it was just taking everything I did and adding my own little spin on it. I didn't try to copy anyone, but I tried to learn from people and take what works from them and like, you know, put together my own recipe and really cement it as mine. Yeah. So like, I feel like that's one of the biggest things that traders need to do, is like not look to be exactly like someone, but create your own thing, and you can be inspired by someone. Yeah. You know? The reason why we have greed and everything is because we start to just like imagine like, oh, I'm gonna buy this Lamborghini today, right? And it's like, because we were sold, I know so many of us were sold on this dream of like, buy my course because I have this Lamborghini, I got this McLaren, I got this whatever, this Ferrari. And it's like, most of the time those traders are only driving those because of, you know, their course sales and stuff like that. So like, we start envisioning like, yo, I'm gonna become a millionaire today. And sometimes you need to take a step back and compound these small wins. Like after I made my first 15, Right after that, I made my first 20. Right after that, I made my first 30. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just kept going and going and going. And like, there's even this book called Trading in the Zone, which like I really recommend for people. If you can, bro, just be disciplined enough to read the book, to learn about the discipline in the markets. Like,
Right.
it's such a big impact, such a big difference. I had one of my boys, I taught him for literally 2 months, bro, or maybe even less. And he read that book. He actually sat down and read that book, took notes, and then he just did the work that I was teaching him. And he got funded on his first try, which is like something you almost never hear.
Yeah.
But like, you know, he was just a lot more disciplined than I was in that industry. Yeah.
In the first
Like
place.
the thing is, the truth is this industry isn't for everybody.
Mhm.
You don't need to be like athletic or tall or whatever. That's not what I mean. This isn't sports. It's discipline. Like, who is willing to stick to it and really go through it? Like, I hear people who say like, I've been on and off trading.
Mhm.
Like, you can't be on and off.
Yeah.
When you want to make it, you got to be fully in. Like, you have to be 100% in. Like, bro, for me, I would tell myself, I swear to God, bro, I saw it so clearly. I envisioned myself if I was 30 and working a job and I have kids and I got to go show up to a boss. And I swear to God, bro, my words were, I would rather be dead than live that life.
Yeah.
So that was my why. You know, find out what it is you want to accomplish and what you want to do, and then stick to that. So like, to me, I could just never, ever, ever live that life. And I knew it. I knew like, how do I escape that? You know, some people say escape the matrix or whatever it is. Like, whatever your matrix is, get out of it, bro. Put yourself in a position where you're going to enjoy your life.
Yeah.
I wake up every single day now and I thank God because I'm living my dream.
Yeah.
Now, guys, the final tip that I have that I think is literally the most important one out of anything I've said today. So please, if there's one thing that you could take away, it's this one. It's to be accountable when you're trading. You will be wrong. Statistically, 99% of traders fail in this industry. And the reason why they fail isn't because trading is hard. It's because in their head, they take zero accountability. They think that if they lost because a high impact news release came out today, that it is the news's fault for being released. What you guys have to realize is the market does not make mistakes. We make mistakes. And the only way to grow from our mistakes is to make sure that we document and journal every single thing and review it. Imagine that you're an athlete and you want to play more minutes, but when it comes to practice, you're not performing well. And when it comes to the game, coach isn't giving you minutes, and then you come on as a sub and you're not doing anything. Then you go to review your footage after the match. You're not studying at all. You're not looking to review any of your mistakes. This is only going to keep you stagnant. So we have to approach the same thing in trading. Every single time that I take a trade, I write down my exact reasons getting into it. And even from all the hedge fund managers, the 8-9-figure traders who I've spoken to, all tell me that they do the same thing, where they journal the reasons they entered, and they always have some sort of documentation around their trades, including the reasons they entered, exit, even down to the timestamps of when they got into. So if these people who are at the highest of levels are doing it, what makes you think that you can escape doing that? Now guys, keep in mind, when it comes to trading, we don't have teammates. We don't have anyone who is going to push us. It's actually the complete opposite. You're gonna hear a million people tell you that you can't do it, that what you're doing is wrong, and you have to be able to tune all of this out. You have to realize that the markets are you against you. It is simply you against your own mind. And if you are not accountable and looking to grow, not only from your losses, but from your wins as well, you will never amount to anything in this space. And guys, I even like making mistakes because every single time that I make a mistake, I understand that this is an opportunity for me to learn and propel myself further than the position that I am in today. So guys, I really recommend that you watch this video again. Make sure to save this to your watch later and revisit it after a month, after 3 months, after 6 months, or however long it may be. But compare yourself with where you are today and where you are at those timestamps, and see which habits have you actually improved and the actual effects that they've had on your trading and your personal journeys. Maybe there's something that you forgot to do or just simply didn't understand it that first time and you need to sharpen it. And you can simply only become better by applying all of these habits. So remember guys, I am rooting for you. I want to see you succeed in this industry and I want to see you reach the best version of yourself. If you guys like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you guys want to keep up with me even further, I do have a free Telegram and a free Discord where the links will both be in the description. I will see you guys there. Best of luck across your journeys. Take care.